Pinkies, and welcome to your very first collage sheet day for 2019. Thank you so much for joining me for another month, even if it is your first month or it is your 10th month, your third year. I don't even know how long I've been doing this, but it feels like forever, and there is no stopping me now. But welcome to another collage sheet day. I hope you are having a wonderful start to the new year. I definitely had a lovely break for Christmas. I spent some really quality time with my family out in the country. I've spent a whole week with my husband doing dates while my kids were with my sister. It has been beautiful. It did mean that I didn't get a lot of work done. I actually took a proper holiday where I did zero work, and it meant that collage sheets were slightly later than normal because I had to hustle and get them done for you, but they are definitely ready to go. I'll just move some of my journals out of the way. There has been a change to my journal and my planner, but we'll talk about that at another time because I know you're just waiting to see what is behind the pink deer. As always, there are 10 sheets for you this month. Of course, I can't seem to control myself, but a couple of them are background, so I feel like they are legitimately okay to have that many sheets. I did promise the calendar image without the numbers, and they are there for you. I've absolutely loved these guys. I actually have the middle guy, which reminds me very much of my husband, in my journal at the moment, or my daily pages I should say. I actually popped I still have the one on his belly, but I do love him anyway. But I did take out the numbers and sort of craft a little bit around there for you guys to have them as illustrations, and you can color them yourself. I hadn't quite like them in black and white, but I might try and have a play with color. I have a little page peeker down here, and he is super cute and monstery. I have a couple of these guys down here. They were a request to have more of these sort of cheeky little emotive blobs, I guess you could call them. I love this guy. He looks absolutely petrified of this guy. When I put him on the collage sheet digitally when I was building them, I just burst out laughing, and every time I look at it, it makes me laugh. So there's that. I had a request for avocados and a boy and a girl, so I've done those there for you. And I have a little digital collage that I put together in my iPad Pro. I'm actually really loving collage digitally. What I do, actually, I won't talk about it. I'll actually work that into a video. But I'm really enjoying the aspect of having traditional stuff and digital stuff and merging them together. So I think there's another piece on here that I'll talk a little bit about, but there is your first one. I love these guys. I can't wait to put them in my journal. This is what I'm talking about with digital and traditional. Sorry, I'm a bit brain dead. It's been a very busy few days getting these done and dusted for you while working around getting school supplies for my kids who are going to school soon, and hubby's last few days of his holiday. So I've just been stretching myself slightly thin, but that's okay. Holidays are meant for that, and I didn't want you guys to miss out on collage sheets or have them any later than they already were. So I made it work. A lot of late nights, a lot of, I guess it's a late night even if it's 2 a.m. But we have this here, which is like a journaling spot, if you will, and this was sort of a actual collage that I put together manually, like traditionally, and then I started adding like this, and this little guy is a sketch that I did digitally, and adding those things later on in the sort of iPad Pro process, and I'm really enjoying that. So I will talk a little bit about merging the two in a video later on. I have some of these. This was a old jelly print that I had lying around that I then scanned and then did all the doodling digitally, again merging the two. I'm having a blast with that. So there's lots of little bits and pieces, a little bit of cyan lettering, some little fillers down here. But I really love how this looks. I love that you can still get the grain of a piece of paper with the tea dyed paper that I had. I did a whole heap of tea dyeing recently. Do I have any around me at the moment? Of course not. Nope. We'll put it away. I had a heap of it out on my table, and now I seem to have none close by to even show you. but I did a whole heap of tea dyeing of different types of papers and things. This was actually from the stationery selection box, so you can see the print there, and I just tea dyed it anyway because I wanted to have a play with different textures and papers. And this was a tea dyed piece of grid paper, and I love that you can still see the grain of the paper. That's kind of where I'm really enjoying those, sort of merging those two processes together. So we have another sort of bright and colorful. This was started on the Q&A for my last couple of videos. I started doing this piece. I scanned it and then pulled it into Procreate and added all the doodling on top of it. And that is something that I've just been really enjoying, having half finished pieces in my journal or on pieces of paper and then throwing them into Procreate and going nuts. And that means I can try and play with things without worrying that I'm going to ruin the piece, because I can always go back and take things out. The freedom of digital is very, very alluring, but I don't want it to overtake my traditional means, if you get what I mean. I had a big discussion to hubby about that. I have a Hello 2019 floral border for you. Some of these little guys as well, where I've turned them so that they look like they're having a bit of a dance party. A couple of the little Monday mantras that were from December, just sized down. A few little legs, and this is the actual bright colored version of that little border that I thought was still very pretty, and I wanted to include it. I did promise you last month when I released the ransom note days of the week to give you alphabets. So I've given you 2 whole sets of alphabets here, and then I've also sized them down so you can have them smaller as well. And then I gave you a blank floral header for you to add your own little titles in there for you. But I'm going to have a blast with these. They're so much fun. If I create more alphabets, like full alphabets out of bits, I'll add them in as I get them, because I know having them fully done, or even lots of I's and E's and O's, all the things that you use a lot, I'll try and collect lots of them and then add them as I go, because I like the variety. But 2 alphabets I thought was enough, and giving them to you in 2 sizes was also, these are the ones that I actually used for your days of the week. We have a page of minis, of course. So these are all the minis sized down. The $5 tier will be getting the minis later on today, so you'll see that pop up on your screen. You already have it in your sheet pack. Don't worry too much about it. I did give you a full page of floral background for you guys to use. I think this will look really beautiful on a piece of acetate, which is probably what I will do. I did leave a section blank, so if you wanted to, you could journal on this section, which is what I plan to do. Or if you put it on acetate, you'll actually see you're writing through some of the leaves, which I love the idea of, and that's the hidden thing behind actually doing it. Or if you want to make a cover for your journal, you can definitely put like what volume or your name, or even this way you can put the date there. I know you guys use a lot of these big background pages for your journal covers, so I always keep those sorts of things in mind. And I like that it's black and white. It means it's cheap to print. So next we have the background sized down to 3x4 if you wanted to just make it a tip in. I always think of those ideas. The small calendar for the month. I've also done this guy in tip in size. He was voted most likely to be a tip in, but I've actually made him a full page as well, purely for my own personal use. And if someone wanted him as A4, you can definitely download him as well. I did promise this last month as well. This is from my journal. When I was doing showing you how I push through a journal page when I'm not loving it, and showing you like where it's going and how I get to get past that ugly stage and getting into that sort of happy stage. And this girl came about, and she was a fan favorite in the video tier, so I did promise that I would scan her and make her part of your collage sheets, and there she is. So there's those. I also scanned this big one down to a little 3x4 tip in as well. I do understand that there are people using journals that are smaller than an A5, so I'm happy to accommodate with smaller things as well. Sometimes it's easier for me to just size it down and then for you guys to do it. So there they are there. Your numbers are black and white. They are the floral jelly print border with the sort of labeling numbers that I love, and I've just thrown down a border of that floral for you to fill the gaps, and a couple of these little girls which I drew digitally as well. So there's that. I got a bit impatient, and this is your days of the week, lettered by the lovely Sian. But I got a bit impatient, and I really wanted to use them, and I didn't want to reprint them again. So mine have got the days taken out of them. It's a couple of days, so I've used them here in my Hobo daily pages as well as the girl. I just got a little bit impatient, and I didn't want to reprint it because I just thought I don't really need them just yet. So I thought, bugger it, I'll just have them up with 2 days missing. You guys totally understand. So I was impatient this time. So they are the days of the week. I promise you, they are full, they're not empty. And then the last is the full-blown print of this guy. I absolutely loved drawing this guy. He is a version of Otto, and if you're an OG Inky, you understand the story behind Otto, and so I wanted to include him in the calendar, and I loved him so much because he just makes my heart boom even after all this time of being in a sketchbook and having his world not develop any further. So I wanted to sort of throw him into one of the photographs I took while over Christmas. We went and did a big photo shoot in some woods that my sister had found, and this was one of the pictures that I took and loved so very much, and I just love putting him in that little place. I did have him solid, but I just thought he looked too plopped down and on there, so I did make him transparent and just colored in his eyes, and I love how this looks. I'm actually going to blow this up and put it in a frame, or put it on a canvas for my actual wall in my house. That is how much I love him, and I just wanted to include him as an A4 print for people who wanted him, but you do not have to download this one if you don't, because he was voted as tip-in size, but I was like, I don't care, I want it in A4. So I'm giving you the option if you want to have him this big or not. I truly adore it. And that are your collage sheets for January 2019. 10 pages filled to the brim with crazy color and crazy monsters. I can't wait to have a play with them. As you can see, I've already started sort of adding some of the items into my daily pages. Yes, I am doing the Hobo this year, and I am almost caught up again. Collage sheets kind of stopped me from getting up to date. So today is Wednesday, so I do have yesterday's and today's. Obviously today just started, so I'm technically only 1 and a bit pages behind. I just painted the pelican this morning before over my cup of tea. So yes, you will be seeing some videos with me working in this, either on YouTube or on here. It'll be not every day. I'm not going to show you everyday process because I just don't want to. It's too much pressure, and I don't want to make this about work, but I will show you some daily pages here and there. Also a mixture of the weekly pages, which you guys have seen me work in here for my December daily. These will continue as well. So they are in here in the Midori, and you'll see me work in a whole plethora of stuff as well this year, especially finishing out my B6, which is almost there. So I just have a little bit left to go of my B6, then I'll be transitioning my journal into my standard for a while, see how we go. And so there's a mixture and a whole heap of stuff that's going to go on. You're going to see me work in lots of different journals. You're going to see me work in a junk journal when it arrives. You'll see a lot of different ways of journaling from me in 2019, as well as some tutorials and line work lessons and all those sorts of things. I am going to put up a post in the Patreon a little bit later, probably on tomorrow maybe, for video ideas that you'd like to see from me in 2019, just so I have some content ideas that are from you guys, but definitely I have my own agendas, but I like to get ideas from you guys as well. That is it. That is enough babbling from me. Go forth, download, print until your heart's content, and I cannot wait to see what you make with them. As always, these collage sheets are for personal use only. I hope that you take heed of that. I have had to do a few things behind the scenes. They're for your own personal use, your own personal journals. Please do not copy them or make, you can make derivatives from them for your own personal use. I totally get that. Please credit me as always. I work really hard for you guys to do this, and I hate to feel like I have my work being taken advantage of. it's a lot of work, and I do it with love, and I do it from my heart, and I hope that you learn from it, you grow from it, your journals burst with color and stuff. But I don't want any of my stuff being resold or my ideas taken and then being sold for personal gain, that's kind of thing. Just a little FYI, a little PSA, all that sort of stuff. Personal use only, guys. As always, it has not changed. Some of these sheets will be morphed and rearranged and put on Etsy in the coming weeks. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if I get all my crap together. But they'll never be exactly the same as what you get. They'll always be priced higher as well. That was the other thing. Patreon will always be the best place to get my collage sheets in bulk at a very, very, very budget-friendly price. But one sheet will probably be $3 or $4 US on Patreon, not on Patreon, on Etsy, as opposed to $10 where you get 10, 12, 14, however many sheets I give you. So do keep that in mind, but I know that some people are a bit wary about Patreon and want to get them on Etsy. So they will never be the same as what you guys get. There may even be some sheets that are different. I don't know. It just depends on how creative I get with making my sheets. But I want to thank you so much for your support in 2018, and thank you for signing on again for 2019. You guys make life so much easier for my family. Literally just spent $500 buying new school uniforms for Elijah for high school, shoes for both of them, backpacks, lunch boxes, you name it, and your pledges help fund that and make me not stress about where the money's going to come from. So I am so deeply appreciated, and I hope you guys know that your funding through your pledges definitely help my IRL life. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I say it all the time. I'm super grateful, and I'm super blessed to have you guys support, and I hope that I live up to what you expect from me here on Patreon. Have a wonderful January. Enjoy the collage sheets, and you'll see me and my plethora of journals very soon. Bye.